point in the show, but I'll just say I don't believe Sovereignty is going to finish in the money. I don't believe the pace exists here that she had, or he had incredible pace to run into in the Derby, and I don't think that pace exists here. And we've seen how we saw last year, and we've seen so far at this meet how difficult it is to close at this distance.
Well, with all the respect, that you know that I love you, Aldi.
I told you were going to call me crazy at some point.
I will tell you this because I read a very polemic handicapper from the Big Apple saying that he was criticizing Godolphin because they didn't put East Avenue in this race, to create some pace in the race.
Yeah.
Some additional pace because you will have pace with Rodriguez here. I will tell you, Sovereignty doesn't need that pace to win the race. Believe me.
Well, and I would argue with you that Sovereignty does, because that's what happened in the Florida Derby. Was that pace wasn't there?
No.
Yeah, that was a slow.
Remember,
slow pace. We were both live broadcasting.
No.
It was a slow pace.
No. First of all, he was in the 10 post.
Yes, I mean that's true.
That post is horrible. The only two horses that has won a race, one was in the Pegasus, was Gun Runner, and the other one was Forte. And Forte won that Florida Derby because Mage had a horrible start that day. Because if Mage broke well, he was winning the race.
But Alfredo, Sovereignty's not even in the Derby if they didn't add the run-up, because he doesn't win the Fountain of Youth without the extra run-up.
No, but Sovereignty the day before the race, that is an anecdote.
It's a fact.
I want to say
he won by about 2 inches and got an extra.
But
300 feet.
But the advantage that he was giving was bigger than that. Believe me, that horse was not ready to win that race. That horse was lucky enough 60% of his condition for that race. And I was talking to someone that I'm not going to mention. And after the race, I talked to someone that I'm not going to mention also. And they were amazed that horse won that day. And that is the reason that he struggled to be closer earlier in that race, because he was not sharp enough. But he was so good, and the pace was relatively slow that day, that he won the race. And if you checked his victory at Churchill Downs, his first victory, and he rallied earlier. He doesn't need pace. This horse is extremely good. That is the reason that they bypassed the Preakness. And now it's going to be a nightmare in this race, this horse. So obviously Journalism is the horse that has the ability, because if we talk about the past, maybe a Fern or an Alidar, they were champions at their time. And they were facing each other, and sometimes, a Fern won most of the races, but Alidar was a champion as well. So I can tell you, Journalism for sure is a champion, but Sovereignty is extremely good.
Okay, when Sovereignty doesn't finish in the money, I'll send you a text.
Let me tell you something. Journalism could be in trouble in this race to finish second, because Baeza is a very good horse.
Journalism's 2-0 against Baeza would be what I would say there. I mean, this is probably more interesting than going back and doing this in order.
Well, I will let you talk, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Let me tell you,
Alfredo, it's always fun to argue.
What I say to the people that is watching this, you can bet on Sovereignty with the trust that the horse is going to deliver. That is what I'm going to say.